Hello everyone, it's Holly. Welcome back. If you are new, I do cooking, travel, homeschooling, and motherhood videos. Today I am talking about children's books for new readers or beginner readers. Because when our kids first started learning how to read, we really weren't sure what kind of books to get our kids when it came to the first stuff they should be reading. We really were confused by what books were the right level for them, and it really was a learning process for us as parents. We learned everything mostly with our oldest child, who is now 13, and she loves to read. She is a huge reader. She's always got her nose in a book. Really, all four of our kids love reading as well. I think that's one of the best things we did for our kids was teaching them to read and getting them very passionate about reading and books. But anyways, when it came to the beginning part of reading, when we were first teaching them how to read, and for all four of them, it was around age 5, we just didn't know what were the good beginner books because there's so many out there and they'll say level 1 on them, but you're looking at it and thinking, this is too hard for them. This is way too much for them to handle at the level at least we thought they were at. Like I said, it really took us time and us learning about what books worked best. I want to share with you right now some of our favorite books when it came to level 1 books and then even level 2 and 3, what we gradually moved them up with. I just want to give you parents an idea because you might be a parent of a young child who is at that age or that stage in life where they are just learning how to read, but you don't know what kind of books you should get for them to start practicing reading. Let me go ahead and share with you right now a bunch of my personal favorites when it comes to beginner readers. I'm a big fan of the Bob books for starting out your kids when they are learning how to read. You might have already heard of the Bob books. They are very popular, but if you have not heard of them, let me just share with you why I do like starting off with this for reading with my kids. This box set right here, this is collection number 1, and there are several collections following. We really only got the first one, and then I later bought the third collection because I bought it at a thrift store, and there's actually a whole curriculum you can do with Bob books when you are teaching your kids how to read. They offer workbooks, and those workbooks are appropriate for preschool and kindergarten age. We actually went through the workbooks as part of our homeschool curriculum. Whether or not you use the workbooks or the whole Bob book system with teaching your kids how to read, I overall am highly recommending starting off with at least collection 1 when your child is at the beginning stage of learning how to read. These books, compared to level 1 beginner readers, are a lot more appropriate because it starts off with one-word sentences. And then it grows to 2-word sentences until eventually your kids are reading full-on sentences and have more of a story to read in each book. And I hope this gives you an idea of what these look like inside if you've never seen them. Again, I really do like how they come in this box set. After having our kids read through all of the Bob books, we then go to this next set. It also comes in this nice box set. This is going to be a step up, and I am talking mostly about my kids really enjoying these books. Compared to the Bob books, these books have pictures with bright colors and more of a story in each of them. You're going to get full sentences. It's going to be a little bit more enjoyable, I think, when they get to reading these books, the first little readers. Here is an example of what they look like inside. You can see that the sentences do continue to be simple and the stories themselves are very short. 25 little books in here. Again, I love how it comes in this case. Makes it nice for storing, and it even has a handle on top if your kiddos want to travel with it. Next, getting into a few other box sets of beginner readers. I really do like the Biscuit beginner readers. I found that it was very appropriate for the beginning stage of reading, and you can see inside just what the sentences look like. Then there is the Pete the Cat beginner readers. Also, we found this to be easy enough for our kids to read in the beginning stage. There are also some other box sets of beginner readers, and while we enjoy them because they are Disney or Marvel, things that my kids are familiar with and enjoy, they get excited about these books being beginner readers. However, I will say, just because they say level 1 or beginner readers, they aren't always the best ones to start off with, mainly because books like these can have a lot of different names and words in these books that are hard for the kids to read when they are starting out. Books like these, we will maybe wait a little bit and read once they have mastered some of the other beginner reader books. After our kids will get through the First Little Readers box set, we then will get into these My First Reader books. There was quite a few that I really did like that I thought were very appropriate. My kids were ready to start reading them at that point. Here is some examples of a few of them that, again, were our favorites because not only did my kids like them, but I found that they were the right level for being called beginner readers. And Baby Shark, of course, is always popular with the little kids. I really did like their My First Reader books. Our next step then will be getting into reading the level 1 books. And this stack here of level 1 books are the ones I found to be the best for being called level 1. And I'm going to go ahead and flip through a bunch of these books right now so you can see what they look like inside, get an idea of what the sentences look like. This book here is a classic. Dick and Jane was one of those beginner readers back in the day, but I still find that the reading level in these books are perfect for when they are starting out. And I also really do love the illustrations of these books that were made back in, the 50s or 60s. Last, I wanted to share these beginner reader book combo books. These are hardback books that have several stories inside of them. Actually, they have several books inside of one book. I found that they were all appropriate for when they were new readers, and also there was a lot of fun stories in each of these books. The How to Catch books were a hit with my kids. They really enjoyed all the stories they had in them. The Amelia Bedelia, my girls all really enjoyed reading. And you can see the books that were included in this one book total. And last, there was the Busy Town Reader Collection. And the very back, you can see that there are several levels that they have of beginner reader books here. You can get an idea looking at this book that it starts off with a few very easy stories to read, but eventually, as you get through the book, it goes up to level 2. Then eventually, the last story or book in here will be the level 3. Again, I found that each of these levels were very much appropriate for where my kids were at with their reading level, the time that they read them. This is how I always stored our beginner reader books. Because they're all about the same size, it's nice to find a storage basket that they fit into to keep them all together, especially since a lot of them I bought individually. My kids are all past the reading level for these books. I still do keep them on hand as my 8-year-old will go back and read them still now and then. All right, there you have it. That is my favorites and books that I recommend for beginner readers. You can see that I did share a couple different levels there. I definitely hope this is helpful. I hope that it gives you an idea of what you can be shopping for because, like I said, we had no idea when we were at that stage in our parenting and teaching our kids how to read. If you enjoyed this video or got any value out of it, please hit the like button. I appreciate you watching and may you have a beautiful day.